Hello everyone, are you ready for another adventure? It's me, Woki, and I'm back with another Fate Grand Order video. And today, we're going to be talking about the Christmas 2025 pre-release campaign, which has some stuff added that was not there on the JP version of the release. So that's going to be today's video. I hope you like it. If you do, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me if you're looking forward to anything. I know for one person, they are definitely looking forward to the unit that was announced for this one, because I know they had been waiting for it a while. Johan, your time for waiting for your king is coming soon. But yeah, that's going to be today's video, and let's begin. So the campaign summary as is following. We are following, my tongue being all weird. We are holding a Christmas 2025 pre-release campaign in preparation for the Christmas 2025 limited time event, which is planned to begin on the 19th. So we also got the date for when the Christmas event's going to start. The 19th, same day as the release of Avatar 3. I was about to call it Avatar 3, but no, it's Avatar 3, Fire and Ash. Let's go with that. To play the main story of Christmas limited time event, you must clear Part 2, Chapter 6.5, The Realm of the Thanatos Impulse, Trom, Life and Death of an Illusion. Make use of the campaign to prepare for the upcoming event. Now, if I remember correctly, because this is the way it was, let me pause so I can quickly go find it. Here we are. Okay, so you can see here that the participation requirements is to clear Trom, but for the free quest themselves, which gives you access to the lotto, is just clear Fuyuki. So if you actually want to get the welfare and do stuff like that, you have to have cleared Trom, but if you just want, if you're not able to clear Trom in time, at least you're able to still participate in the free quest and stuff like that and get in the lotto. But okay, now to pause and go back to the other side. Okay, so yeah, go back to where we are. The campaign period is going to be from the 10th all the way to the 31st, which is going to lead up to New Year's and stuff like that, so that's very cool. Yeah, and more information about the limited time event, as we already know, it's going to start on the 19th, so get ready. Who could this mysterious Nemo-shaped boy be? Find out soon enough. Main quest in Part 1 and Part 2 through Chapter 6.5 AP costs 1/4, so during the period below, main quest through Part 2, Chapter 6.5, we'll have AP costs reduced to 1/4. AP costs will be reduced even if you withdraw from battle. For masters who have yet to clear the main story, take advantage of the opportunity, and this campaign will go from the 10th all the way to the 31st. The eligible quests are Main Quest Part 1, Singularity F through Final Singularity, and Main Quests in Part 2, Chapters 1 through 6.5. Please note that Main Quests Part 2, Chapter 5.5, Pseudo Singularity and Main Interludes will not be eligible, as AP costs for main quests through Part 2, Chapter 7 have been permanently halved. They will return to 1/2 cost following the end of this campaign. So there you go. So as someone told me, they will no, I forgot who said. They usually don't do a whole lot when it comes to clearing the cost for Trom, so this is your one opportunity, if I'm reading this correctly, because it says main quest through Part 2, Chapter 6.5, so that would include Chapter 6.5, but if I'm wrong on that, boy, did I misread that. But anyway, you'll get some leyline stones as well. They're going to be returning, so you'll be able to get some from login, which is going to be 3, and then all masters will get them. All you need to have done is cleared Singularity F, and you'll be able to get them. And the login period will be here from the 10th all the way to the start of the next year, actually, from all the way up to 2026, where it's going to be the 17th of January. And you can use these in the following quest: all main quests for Part 1 through Part 2, Pseudo Singularities, Chapter 5.5, Chapter 6.5, an Ordeal Call 1, Zero Compass, Inner Domain, Paper Moon will also be eligible. Leyline Stone usage period, it will be from the 10th all the way to the 18th. Which is funny that it's like one day after the login bonus period ends, which is pretty funny. Some ley lines will be added to the Mana Prism shop, so there'll be a stock of 10 of them, and it costs 10 to get them, and these will be here from the 10th all the way to the 17th of January, 2026. And the usage period is the exact same, and that is the basicness of everything that's going on. As you can see, this is just a way to get people to actually get to Trom and finish Trom. It's so funny that through a lot of like the events and stuff, they're just like, you don't have to care about Hainkyo, you don't have to care about Trom, just kind of get past it. And then for this one event, they said, hold up, actually, can you go back and make sure that you completed Trom? Can you do that for us real quick? Can you please complete Trom? We really need this. Can you? Anyway, So the thing that was unexpected is that, like as you can see here, there's a Christmas 2025 pre-release pickup summon which was not available on JP. So we're going to talk about that next. And I'm actually going to talk about both of the units here, just to save time and not that way I don't have to make a separate video for Amakusa Shiro and then another one for King Hassan over here. But anyway, the Christmas 2025 pre-release pickup summon will feature 2 limited time servants will be featured on 2 pickup summons. Like I said, Amakusa Shiro and the King Hassan, or First Hassan, however you would like to pronounce, Azrael, whichever name you would like to call the First Hassan or King Hassan, please do so. To go along with the Christmas 2025 pre-release campaign, these 2 will be here. Each, it's going to be exactly like you would expect from any other banner, and there's no 4 stars to be in them. On the 10th, that's when Amakusa comes out, and then on the 13th, that's when King Hassan comes out, and it looks like they last about 5 days. So Amakusa goes from the 10th all the way to the 15th, and then King Hassan goes from the 13th all the way to the 18th, and then they both stop right at the 19th, the mysterious night, because that's going to be the time when Christmas starts. Yes, so these are going to be the 2, and now I'll actually go into talking about them, starting with the first boy, the ruler. Let me pause once again to transition over to the wiki now. Okay, and here we are for Amakusa Shiro. So we're going to start. He is a ruler. He's limited, like I said beforehand. He has 1 quick, 2 arts, 2 buster, with 3 hits on quick, 2 hits on arts, 1 hit on buster, 7 hits on extra. His active skills are, the first one is Prayers for the Long Journey, which is after you get a strength thing. We have all his strength things by now, so I'm just going to go with the default of the strengthened versions, because if we looked at his old versions of the skills, this ain't helping anyone, bro. Everyone knows Amakusa kind of sucked before all the strength things. But anyway, Prayer for the Long Journey A. Grant 1 ally critical star regeneration buff for 3 turns. Increase their MP generation rate for 3 turns. Star regen is 10 and the MP rate is 30% on a cooldown of 6. His second skill is the Grail of the Fiery Heavens EX. Reduces 1 enemy's MP gauge by 1. Reduces all enemies' buster resistance for 5 turns. Charges own MP gauge by 20%. And then charges own MP gauge every turn for 5 turns. 20% to NP regen, and the buster resistance is 20% on a cooldown of 8. His third skill is God's Resolution False, C++. Chance to bound 1 enemy servant for 1 enemy servant for 1 turn. Bound, similar to stun, but unlike stun, this effect ignores stun resistance and stun success rate up buffs. Increases own buster performance for 3 turns. The servant bound success is 100% at level 10, and the buster up is 30%, and this is on a cooldown of 6. His passive skill is Magic Resistance A, and his third skill is an anti-ruler attack damage aptitude, because trust no one, not even yourself. Very rare I get to say this about the actual, when it's, I've never seen it's very rare for the ruler to be anti-ruler. There's no other Amakusa out there. Noble Phantasm is the twin arm big crunch. Dual arm zero order convergence. Rank EX anti-army. It's Buster. It hits a single time. Removes all enemies' buffs. This activates first and then deals damage to them. At MP level 1, it's 400%, and if you get them all the way to MP level 5, it's 600%, and his overcharge effect is reduce their critical attack chance for 3 turns. At charge level 1, it's 30%. If you get him all the way to the final charge level, it is 70%. He also does have his own special outfit, which is the Phantom Thief, Amakusa Shiro. Whoops, I don't know why I clicked on there when I could just simply show you it up here. But here he is in his Phantom Thief outfit. The opening for that event is also insanely well done too. If you've never seen it, I would suggest go checking it out. And then his Bond CE is Amakusa Shiro's Rally Flag. Increases party's damage against the undead or demon enemies by 20% while self is on the field. And that is Amakusa. So how is he? So, what is a nice way of saying this? I don't think he's very good anymore. It's kind of been all over the place, honestly. If you've been, I guess, watching my channel for an extremely long time and you've heard me talk about him, I went from this guy completely sucks to this guy's actually kind of really good and a little bit underrated, and to now we return to the crescendo now where it's like it's been long enough where I feel like he probably needs another buff. He ends up being not like as bad as he is because oh my god, when the way he used to be, if we could look at his original skills, which is gain some crit stars, reduce 1 undead or demon enemy's allies. That's right, you had to use this on an undead or demon enemy to get the effect, and then you charge your own MP gauge for every turn for 5 turns, 20%. And then on his third skill, it was just straight up bound. You can see he was not the greatest unit in the world, even if you get to his Noble Phantasm. Yeah, the only thing it really ever had was the ability to remove own duffs, and he did get a little bit more over time, but it was, you know, that critical attack chance used to be for a single turn. So like I said, he used to be way worse. He's still just okay now. I think he probably could use a little bit of a buff here or there, but he's also one of those rare units that's had every single thing buffed, so I don't know which is the first skill you buff. Maybe the first one that ever got a strengthening. Maybe the third skill. Maybe they could do it to the first skill. I don't know. He's always been kind of weird to me, especially with like increasing your NP generation rate, which is nice by a 30%, but also he's a buster focused type of guy. And then another unkind thing that happened to him was that obviously the Fitch system kind of came in for busters, which kind of made you view a lot of them a little bit differently. And obviously he still gets a lot of NP generation rate, but the fact that he doesn't get 30% just off of a blanket charge is kind of a killer for me, honestly. It means that you can't do the very easy bread and butter setup of 2 Vich and an Oberon. You probably have to grind with maybe a Vich and 2 Oberons, especially with cooldown 8. That gets helped a little bit later on when we get the ability to skill reload, I assume. But the fact that even with skill reloading, it does not fix the fact that he doesn't get the 30% is kind of a bummer to me. But yeah, I really do feel like this is a unit that could use a little bit of an improvement in kind of all regards. And I'm sure that plenty, I don't know, if you're a fan of him, let me know how you feel. I know that he's had a very strong fan base, specifically because he comes from Apocrypha, and I've had it out with certain Apocrypha people out in the past. Very friendly, of course, not actually anything serious, like yelling at each other, talking about why they appreciate them and why they like Apocrypha and stuff like that. So I know that there would definitely be fans of him that would really like it if, I guess, he was buffed in some kind of way, or maybe they see him differently and they see him better. I've always seen him, funny enough, as someone who's actually a beast when you have to fight him in a challenge quest, because then his AoE ability to remove all buffs is really killer, and he also has like a 3-turn cooldown because he's ruler, and it makes him extremely scary to fight with, especially with the second skill being able to also increase his NP gauge and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's how I basically feel about him. It is a really nice costume. Plus, if you are a fan of him and you do end up getting him, you do get a lot of Saint Quartz back. Just because he has 3 strengthenings and a single interlude. So there you go, there's some bonus Saint Quartz along with your unit. It's basically paying off for himself if you do a single multi, you get him off of GSSR. Again, I'm not 100% sure who would specifically want to go for him, but if you are going for him, I wish you the best of luck. And again, feel free to tell me how you feel about him, because obviously I don't have him. So the best I can do is kind of look at him and kind of gauge my feeling about how he feels. And that's currently how I feel. Now let's move on to the next and last unit that's going to be featured, which is the Old Man of the Mountain, aka King Hassan, aka First Hassan, aka Hassanai Sabah, or the Grand Assassin, or Azrael, whichever name you would like to call him. The reason I say Azrael is I actually did know a guy who used to call him that exclusively, and I was like, who the hell are you talking about? He's like, I guess King Hassan. I'm like, oh, that's his Noble Phantasm. Anyway, he is an assassin. He is a limited unit. He has 1 quick, 1 arts, 3 buster, 5 hits on quick, 3 hits on arts, 1 hit on buster, 6 hits on extra. His first skill, he is another unit that's gotten a couple strengthenings, and I believe we have all of them. His first skill is Abyss of Death EX, which is grant self gut status for 1 time, 5 turns. Grant self the Abyss of Death buff for 5 turns. Abyss of Death increases own buster performance while owner has gut status. Grants self a guts activated buff for 1 time, 5 turns. When gut status is activated, 500% chance to remove own Abyss of Death buffs, charge own NP gauge by 20%, increase own buster performance by 50% for a single turn, and then the reviving whiff is 5000 HP, 30% to buster, and this is on a cooldown of 7. His second skill is the Protection of Faith, A+++, increase own debuff resistance for 3 turns, recovers own HP, increases own attack, increases own defense for 1 turn, and then also increases attack for 3 turns, 100% to debuff resistance. The heal is 2500, the defense up is 40%, and the attack up is 20%, and this is on a cooldown of 5. His third skill is the Evening Bell Return to Dust EX. Reduce all enemies' instant kill resistance for 3 turns. Increases own buster performance for 3 turns. Charges own NP gauge. 200% down to the def resistance, 50% up to Buster, and 30% to NP on a cooldown of 6. His passive skills are Magic Resistance B, Present Concealment A, Independent Action B, At the Boundary A, which grants self instant kill immunity, increases his own charm debuff resistance by 100%, grants self a debuff on attack buff, 5% chance to activate instant kill enemies by 100. Let me read that again. 5% chance to activate instant kill enemy by 100% def chance when normal attacking. So basically it just means that his normal attacks have a chance to kill someone. Instant kill someone. Third skill is an anti-saber attack damage aptitude because fuck Gawain, and specifically his Noble Phantasm is Azrael, the angel that announces death. Rank C Noble Phantasm hits one time, deals damage to one enemy. At MP level 1, it's 600%. If you get him all the way to MP level 5, it's 100%, and then he has a chance to instant kill them. The instant kill always succeeds against mob enemies that have 100% def rate, basically bronze rarity. Using Evening Bell Return to Dust, level 10, can kill enemies that have a 50% or higher def rate, basically silver rarity. At OC3, Evening Bell Return to Dust, level 10, plus Soya High School Uniform, level 10, instant kill. Always succeeds against mob enemies that have a 20% or higher def rate, basically gold rarity. Or Overcharge 4, Evening Bell Return to Dust, level 10. Overcharge is level 5 plus Evening Bell Return to Dust, level 10. 2 times can instant kill enemies with 10% def rate. A lot of numbers. And then, yeah, the overcharge is the def chance is 100% if you get it at charge level 1. If you get it to the final charge level, it's 200%. He has no fancy outfit, which is a damn shame. And then his Bond CE is the Rift of the Valley. When equipped to Old Man of the Mountain or King Hassan, increase own debuff resistance by 100%. And that is King Hassan. The first Hassan, the Grand Assassin. How is he? I think he's great. I love King Hassan. He's an amazing unit. He's absolutely fantastic. If you're someone who specifically... I guess the one thing I kind of have to say about it, just as a broad overview, because if I don't bring it up, then someone will leave a comment saying like, but what about this? Blah, 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 blah. So I'm just going to bring it up. If you're someone who already kind of has Kama built up, which is another single target assassin, later on she gets a buff that is really good, and usually Kama is, as far as a single target assassin, will do you really well. So if you're someone who's like specifically going for units and they're doing it with the mindset of, I need this to fill a role in my team that can't be filled by someone else, or I need someone who is the best at filling said role, can they fill that? And the answer is it's a little bit tough when you already have Kama kind of built out fully, because she will do you perfectly fine. So if you're someone who has that unit and is not looking for another single target assassin, then obviously King Hassan is probably not likely for you. But for anyone else out there, I think this is an amazing single target assassin. I really do like a lot of what he's going for. He got 3 busters, so he's full-on buster gorillaing. Something that's really nice that I've learned to appreciate is actually some instant kill abilities. The reason is that in some of the very hard, big HP bosses, for like some specific nodes, for example, some of the harder grind nodes, like the second stage will have a boss with like 300,000 HP. And if you're someone who's like, I don't know if I can actually take care of them, the nice thing about instant def is that if a lot of the time those units with a lot of HP, they're still silver rarity. So as you read here, there is a way to just basically kill silver rarities out from under them with just using the Evening Bell tolls. And I think that's a very nice way of being able to have like a single target cleanup unit that's like, I need you to specifically be here because I know this guy has a huge HP pool. He's weirdly in the second slot, and I can just use you for that ability and kind of get in and get out. And I think that's a very nice thing to kind of have. So I've learned to appreciate that more as I've used some instant kill units. I think it was... Who was the instant kill unit that I was using that made me like really appreciate? It was Doman. Doman has the instant kill, and he was able to, with an AoE, really help me out in a lot of, like, to use a very specific team. But I needed him to clear out an entire wave, and that would have only been possible through the use of it as instant death. So I feel like you can do the same with King Hassan. If you're not able to just straight up kill it through raw power, he will kill him through assassin ability. And yeah, he's a very straightforward unit. A lot of the things that he does is just straight up kill and go for the kill and just kill him and do it all right. The other thing I want to mention is just because I rarely, I think, get to talk about this a whole... Because obviously when I do a lot of these videos, I have to talk about these units as far as how are they as units themselves, which, as I mentioned, I think he's a fantastic unit. The only thing that would be I'd be a little bit wary about is if someone who only cared about that aspect of the game is that if you have Kama, maybe Kama's a little bit of a, with her buff coming up, you'll be pretty solid and not, maybe you could save your Saint Quartz for something later down the line. But the one thing I wanted to mention is that I've always been a fan of King Hassan's design and how they've designed him. Not only is he, first of all, a kick-ass giant skeleton man, every single one of these ascensions are fucking insane. This one with him with the coat, amazing. This right here, also good. Him with the shield, fantastic. Him with the little skull on him, that's great. I love him as far as that design, but also the way they've kind of handled the unit itself. You'll notice that even though he is the Grand Assassin, his present concealment is not EX, it's A. And why is that? They've actually written it into the lore where... Let me see if I can find it real quick, just so you don't have to look at me read through stuff. Here it is. So yeah, present concealment. You'll see here, this swordsman, the ability is concealing one's presence, or rather what remains of the skill he once had. This swordsman is afflicted with a powerful curse that even if he perfectly succeeds in his concealment action check, the person he is about to kill will detect them. You literally feel death coming for you. He cannot hide himself because the second that he wants to kill you, you get alerted immediately. And the evening bell, which is an amazing, the evening bell is sounded to tell the people of funerals and to alert them to death's coming. This special skill was created as a result of his fusion with that ritual. The swordman does not choose for himself who he is to kill. When his target loses sight of when they are or to die, he offers them salvation in place of the Lord of Heaven. Everything he does is the will of heaven, and because of this, all who meet him know that their fate is at an end. Hearest thou the bell? It tolls the end of thy fate. Accept it and release thy soul. That is thy last chance to rest in peace as human. So much about the lore that has been written about him is just absolutely amazing. Like, the very concept of death itself, it's the reason a lot of the time I feel I see this a lot. Why do people care so much about the grands? And it comes to another extent of like, what does it really truly mean to be grand? And over the years, I've kind of gone in a little bit more softer on my approach of like, you know what, FGO is a very silly game, let them do their thing. But when they write the Grand Assassin and they basically write out the full reason why he would be considered the grand status of what he is, the way that his death works, the way that even if he is present concealment, which is what a lot of assassins can do, he literally can't hide himself because he is so innately built in with death that you feel that chill coming from you that is very similar to the chill of death that you feel when something is like going wrong or amiss. The very idea of the Grim Reaper itself, it's a thing of beauty when you can design a character like that, and I've always appreciated King Hassan for that reason alone. I think he might actually be one of the most badass units that specifically Fate Grand Order itself has created. Because when I think of characters, when I think of like what Fate Grand Order has given to, as far as original characters go, which is not like characters that are obviously characters that servants that they made for the game itself that have not appeared in other things. And obviously Hassan is kind of tied into all the Hassans because the Hassans themselves are built into the Grail system and how it works, obviously. But when I think of the specific character that he made, it always makes me feel like damn, yeah, that's the pinnacle of what I can expect from Fate writing. It's why when they did that music video where they did for the purposes of it, when he shows up in it with the fucking sword and he comes out with like jet propulsions to go see him, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's the guy. When I think of Fate Grand Order, I think of King Hassan, and I think he is absolutely 100% worth going for, even if you're like me who has Kava. I have to actively force myself to not summon because I did tell myself that I'm not summoning anymore for the year, and it's so annoying that this came in at the last second to prove me wrong. But goddamn, he's just such an amazing unit for so many levels that just go outside of the game itself when it goes into the design, into the character, the lore, the design, everything, the Noble Phantasm, the way that it kind of plays out and the evening bell tolls for you, and it's so fucking good. It's amazing. There's a reason why they picked a version of him for the grand fight later on, because he really does represent a lot of the good stuff that I think about for Fate Grand Order when I think of it. But then, you know what? I've gone on long enough. If you actually listened to that entire hype up of King Hassan. I thank you very much, but that's the end of the video if you skip through it all. Thank you very much for watching. I wish y'all the best of luck if you do end up summoning for him. Like I said, funny enough, I was working on a video talking about how my year has gone in terms of my summons and stuff like that, and I thought that I was going to be pretty safe, but I'm just gonna have to keep on. I'm gonna have to keep on keeping on. I can't break that vow, especially because as I was looking back at a lot of my summons, I was kind of like, I did break a lot of my. I'm only gonna do a couple multis on this, and then I did. What was it? I think for summer 2, which is gonna come up, I said I'm only gonna do 5 multis, and I did. I looked for that video and I did 12. I did not stay true to my word, so I'm gonna have to stay true to this one. But again, that's the end. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. I wish you all the best of luck. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, and bye-bye.